Hello, friends. Welcome to Buffalo. Fabulous, fabulous Buffalo. So as I've mentioned before, starting in on a new job, so things have been a little crazy, and needless to say, I've had no time to get out and explore Buffalo. And there are some interesting, really great areas here. We're near Niagara, so there's some beauty to be had up here, but I had no time to get to any of it. So I thought I would do something a little different today. I'm going to do kind of a tutorial, although I hesitate to call it a tutorial. I don't really believe that I'm qualified to teach anybody anything. So it's more of a this is how I did it video. I'm going to show you a blending mode I used to make this image. On screen now. Just because I think it's really simple, and I think something maybe a lot of people don't know, or maybe you do, or maybe you know a better way to do the same effect. Let me know if you do. But I'm going to share with you the way I did this, and we will go from there. Terrific. Okay, so here we are in Lightroom, and you can see here's my catalog, and I have these 4 images here that are labeled in red. And I do this is my personal way of doing it. I keep images that go together. They either get a focus stack or HDR or panorama. They get the same color, so I know they're all part of the same set. So I have these 4 images here that I'm going to use. And the idea of this, what I want from this picture is this rock here in the middle. I want this guy to just be surrounded by these waves. And while I was standing there, setting up to get the shot, one wave did come in and wrap all the way around this rock beautifully. And then for the next 25 minutes to half an hour where I stood there, it never happened again. So I'm going to put together a series of shots to show the water around this rock. So you see in this one I've got the water on the top side of the rock over here, and kind of nothing on these back rocks over here. This next image I have the water wrapping around on the bottom side, the right side of the image, but it's covering these rocks in the background, so I don't like that. This is an image I'm not going to use. Here's another image where I've got some nice wave action on the rocks in the background, and I like this little curling wave in the back. And this wave here, I like this kind of soft, subtle moving in here. And again, I like the covering of the rocks in the background. So we're going to combine these 4 images into one. So we will control click this one, control click this, control click this. That selects all 4 of the images I want to work with. Right click, we're going to go to edit in, open as layers in Photoshop. So we click on that, and then you go make a cup of coffee. And then whammo bammo, just like that, you have a single image file here, but it's got 4 layers, and you'll see over here on the right hand side, we've got our layers, and we can turn them off, and we can show, we like this soft water here and around the rocks, this image here, we like it over on this side, and not so much on these rocks. This image here, we like all of this wave action over here, but not so much on those rocks. And this one here, again, we like the wave action over here, right around this top. Back in here is kind of interesting. So we're gonna take all of these layers, and what I wanna see are the waves, the white part of the waves in this image, right? And that's kind of key to this little trick, why this works. So what we're going to do is over here in our layers panel, we got the top one selected. I'm going to shift click, that selects all of my layers, and I'm going to come up here to my blend mode right here on this thing, and we're going to change this to lighten. And what that's going to do is show all of the white that is in here. And so now you can see we've got the waves over here on the bottom. We've got waves around it. I've got the waves in the back. All of the white parts of the water are showing through in this. So now we like that, except we don't like that it's covering up my rocks in the background. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to try to figure out which one of these layers is covering up. And it's this one right here. This second layer is covering these rocks. Like, I like this, but now I'm missing all this stuff here in the foreground, right? So I'm going to make a layer mask on this second one. Layer mask down here. Click on that, adds that layer mask. We're going to grab a brush, and we're going to paint with black. And that is going to reveal everything back here. And I want to see these rocks. So I'm going to paint away the water, and this particular frame is on these rocks in the background. and that will expose those. So we've got a little more going on in another one. Oh yeah, this bottom one here is doing quite a bit too. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add a layer mask to this bottom image. And come back to these rocks, paint with black. Expose them just a little bit more. There we go. That's what we're starting to like right there. Okay, and there it is. Now we're seeing those rocks. We still have the wave action coming in and all of this. All right. So once you've done that, once you've blended your images together, you like the way they look, you just File, Save. Photoshop will save that out and it'll export it right back into Lightroom for you. It's going to show up over here, probably right in between 20 and 21. And there it is, between 20 and 21. So now this is our blended image with our water running all the way around here and that. And then in here, come in, we do our simple edits. I'm going to rotate this little bit here is kind of bothering me a little bit, so I'm just going to rotate that, get that out of there. And then just adjust my white point, and I do a shift double click, and that will just move it. Lightroom picks those points, and sometimes I decide I want to move them a little more or a little less. I usually kind of pop my blacks just a little bit more, just a little clarity. I'm going to hide this panel here. Just give me a little more real estate. Yeah, and maybe just up my saturation just a little. I don't want to go too far with that. I think temperature's fine. Sharpen it up just a little bit. And this is holding down the Alt key, shows your sharpening mask. Because I don't need to sharpen every little bit of everything. This is like moving softy water, so just kind of trying to define some of those edges. That's all I'm going to do there. And I think I'm going to come back to my basics, and I'm going to pick my color tab. So this is new in Lightroom, are the color tabs, and I tend to like them. Some of the moderns are the ones I really like. Modern 10 is one it's just kind of, and you just kind of hover over these and see which one appeals to you the most. Modern 4 might be the one for me. On this picture, I like what it's doing to that water. Still preserving my shadow detail. Modern 6, Modern 4, and then you could spend the rest. You could literally spend the rest of your day just doing this. Just Modern 6, Modern 4, Modern 6, Modern 4. I tend to pick the one that's a little over the top. I like Modern 6, and then you have this amount slider up here at the top, and you can reduce the effect of it. So I went with Modern 6, it's just a little too much saturation for me, but not way over the top, so I just reduced it down to like 87%. I like that, that's good. Call that done. I might actually hit my little HSL sliders here, and I like to mess with my luminance and see what I can do to my blues. Just gonna blue this up just a little bit, and I'm gonna give it a little bit of a 4-corner burn. And that's it. That image is done. So that's my blending technique for that kind of a thing, with the white water and long exposures. And if you want to just combine things, lighten is a terrific way to do it. Blend modes in general are kind of magic and wonderful. So if ever you want to do something like that, open them up as layers into Photoshop, play with your blend modes, see what they do. It may be exactly what you want, and then with just a little bit of minor tweaking, you saw I just did like 2 really simple layer masks to kind of highlight the rocks a little more for myself in this image, and presto changeo, it's all done. So yeah, I hope you found that informative and worthwhile. Thanks for sticking with me through it. As always, give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. share it with all your friends, and we'll see you next time.